Hey, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Lost Like Mike. I'm your host, Mike Gonzalez. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for subscribing, for all the messages at lostlikemike@gmail.com. I think I'm not one to get into horoscopes or believe in fortune cookies and all this kind of thing. But I do think that you sort of gravitate in and out of spells of I'm trying to choose my words right. I think that sometimes you come in and out of funks, not just bad moods, but just it seems like it's been all week. I've been in this just perpetual horrible mood. I mean, but and maybe it's sort of where one feeds the other. Do you know what I'm saying? In other words, I'm in a bad mood, but bad things are happening, and it's sort of feeds each other. So the bad things that are happening are feeding this bad mood, but having the bad mood is sort of causing the bad things to happen. It's been that kind of week, dude. I mean, like driving to work, for example, and it's going to sound really cliche, but I just, that I mean, not only the traffic, but even starting this podcast. I've tried it 10 times. That's why I'm not even wanting to restart right now. I just have a coughing fit. Haven't coughed. Hit record. And then I get into a fit of coughing. The first time I started recording, my dog starts barking like a crazy dog. It's quiet all afternoon. All of a sudden, wants to go off on absolutely nothing. It just sounds like I'm complaining, but anyway. For example, I went to the doctor today. This is not part of the bad mood. I'm just trying to get off the subject. I don't want to dwell. Not right now. But I'm sure there's some opportunities here. But it's a new place. I've never been here before. So I go to this new place. And it's in the medical area. There's a medical district where there's all these different hospitals, doctor's offices, places that you're going to go, you know what I mean, to get your medical stuff done. And from the outside, it looks just like an office building, kind of. There's sort of Southwest deco going on, on the outside. But I walk in and it looked like something that you would see out of a movie of a small town, where people are lining up on the walls and sitting on chairs, and there's no real rhyme or reason. There's signs different places telling you what doctors are where, and then there's like a staircase. I go up the staircase, and there's more people just lining up on the walls, sitting on chairs randomly, and there's like, there's a machine, right? It's the only semblance of technology in this entire building. It looks like a pueblo or something. I punch in my information, and then it says, yeah, no record of you. If go downstairs. So I go back downstairs because on my thing it said I was on the second floor. So that's why I started there. I don't like elevators, so I'm going up and down these stairs. I go back downstairs and I'm like, this can't be right. There's names on sheets of paper that are laminated. It's like a kindergarten class, right? Like Dr. So-and-so, and it's like on this construction paper that's laminated. And so I say I'm not going to go to that one because it says right here what my doctor's name is. This one over here says another doctor on the construction paper. So I said, I go back up the stairs. So maybe there's some place to check in up there that I'm missing. I mean, I'm not blind, but it's a very strange setup. And I'm trying to investigate. I go back down the stairs. I go outside the building. I say, am I even at the right address? Fortunately, I'm 15 minutes early. I'm looking for this address. Yeah, I'm at the right place. So I go back inside. And I said, screw it. I'm going to go. And I look at one. They have two reception areas. On one end of the wall of the room, where the one doctor's name is in construction paper, there's one lady there and a patient in front of her. And I look at the other side, and there's another lady with a patient in front of her. So it gives me an opportunity. It says, all right, let's look at both of these individuals and let's decide on who we want to inquire with. So I look left, I look right. And this one's a chatty Cathy, and she won't shut up. She just keeps talking and talking to this patient. This person's never going to end. They're just going to hang out all day. There's no speed dating going on. This is all day. And I look back at the other side, and the patient is gone. So I said, you win. Because secretly what was going on in my mind is which one looks like they're going to be nice to me. Because I'm in no mood to be like, I've been up and down stairs. This is my last attempt. And I walk up and I say, is this doctor even in this building? And she says, yes. And then proceeds to charge me $100. We talked about this on the last podcast because I have all these issues with my throat and my voice. And, it shouldn't be that you're affected or your decision to treat it is impacted by the cost of that treatment. But here we are. But I had reconciled with having to pay this amount. I have to get to the bottom of it. So here I am. And I have a million things that I want to tell this individual. Like, why is your setup so crappy? And who organized this? And why is everybody sitting against walls, like on two different floors, and nobody seems to know where they're going? But I just say, you know what, whatever. So she says, go back upstairs. Somebody will be with you. You're already checked in. So I go back upstairs and I say, well, I'm just going to pick a wall. And I have joined the ranks. I am now one of the many, sitting against a random wall, not knowing what happens next. This is purgatory. And a lovely medical nurse comes out and she asked me to fill out some paperwork and says she'll soon be out to get me. And things are looking up. She's very kind. And I'm here to tell you everything after that went just fine. the nurse says, well, she's not a nurse. She's a graduate student getting ready to like basically practice on me, I guess. And she says, we're going to get a look down your throat and see what we're working with, what's happening here. And we talked at length at all the issues that are going on with me, and she seemed very receptive to wanting to help. And the doctor was sitting next to her. And I think she's a pathologist, a speech pathologist. I'm not sure how all that ranking goes, or what that even means, whatever. But anyway, so there's this long metal skinny tube, a metal, camera, and it's just like this metal stick. And she's coaching me on that she's going to put this down my throat. And I smiled, and because I knew, no, you're not. I'm going to try my best. That's all I kept saying. All I could utter was, I'll try my best. She's like, no, I'll get you through it. And she says, okay, lean forward, put your hands on your, and chin up. Okay, gotcha. I'm all there. Just what I want you to do is I want you to relax and breathe out in and out of your mouth. And just relax. And here we go. And she couldn't even get it anywhere near my vicinity. She says, listen, we're going to try this again. She's like, she turns to the other one and says, and I said, look, my dentist says that my tongue is not very cooperative. She turns to the other lady and says, what am I doing? Like, what's going wrong here, right? I mean, not in a question form, just kind of addressing it. Like she's saying, I'm going to try this, right? They're having exchanges. So again, she comes, lean forward. Are you making sure his chin's up? His chin's up. All right, I know it's because I'm grabbing your tongue with the gauze, and that doesn't feel. I said, it doesn't matter. Do what you got. I will try my best. I am focused on letting my tongue be at your instruction. Please. Metal rod goes into my mouth. I'm breathing. I'm trying to just relax. She says, say E. And I said, oh, and she pulls it out. This isn't working. We're going to numb your throat. She comes, sprays inside my mouth this. It was just like a mix between like cinnamon and like butt. It was horrible, but it's fine. It's for a purpose. It was here to numb me up. So I sprays inside my throat. They give it a minute. Here they come again. Same thing. Lean forward, chin up. Concentrate on your breathing. Let's try this. Say E. Oh, done. So the other one's like, look, let me try. She's a trained professional. As a graduate student, this is above that. I got you. And she's already saying, if this doesn't work, we're going to have to go in through the nose. And I'm like, I've done that before. Not a fan. I will try my best. But what I noticed was that this pro, she understood that her voice was important. Like she needed to, it was very calming. I just need you to breathe. It was like one of those videos, those ASMR videos where she was like, just breathe. Everything's fine. I'm going to grab your tongue with this little gauze. I'm going to put this. Now, all I want you to do is breathe in and out. And I want you to say E. It was done. She's like, she pulls it out. She says, all right, this guy's not doing it. I said, I'm sorry. She's like, no. Some people, it's very common. They can't do it. And I said, you know what? It was no rhyme, no reason. I could not do it. I was like, my life depended on it. I really didn't want it to come in my nose. But then, so they put some junk in both my nose. Like, look, I did this with the other doctor. They went in my nose with the camera. He did one, that was it. He came back in a few minutes later and he's like, I'm coming in your nose. You ready? No, this one did lidocaine, did all this, several sprays of all different kind of stuff. Let it sit for a while. I was like, this is different. And the long and the short of it is that basically, they saw inside the redness and the aggravation of the vocal folds and everything. And then proceeded to give me all this literature of what I'm going to have to do to fix what's going on with me. And it brings the question, like, my initial visit with my specialist said, I'm going to send you out into the world to do all these tests, and then after all of it, I want you to come back and, we'll figure you out. But at this point, what is he really going to do? You know what I mean? And maybe that's a little bit financial, but I'm also going to take off of work. I'm going to have to do all these things just so I could go in and they could be like, yep, you had these things done. Cool. So are we good? You know what I mean? Like, I can't picture it. I almost want to call and be like, so about that follow-up, is it, because it's like, it's $50 just to have a quick, 2-minute conversation. So you went there. Yeah. I see your results. You went here. Oh, okay. I see your results. Cool. All right. Well, good luck. You know what I mean? Like, there's no new thing that's coming is my point. Okay. Well, I went and saw my son, and I talked to him about my bad mood and everything. It sort of culminated. There's little things like, all right, my mom asked me for some items. She said that she was in conversation talking about how my sister was, she had asked my sister to get her some items. And I said, that's cool. Has she got them to you? And she said, no, not yet. And I said, look, I live with a professional shopper. It's what she does. She likes nothing more than to find these hard to find items. And I said, I'll have her do it for you. And little 20 minutes, my wife already had all this selection for her to pick from. And so I had told my mom, hey, they're coming in tomorrow, I'll bring them to you this weekend. And she was like, well, maybe we can get your sister to come over. Everything's always, there's no secret that she's her favorite, that they have a special bond. We've talked about it at length, my mom and I, because my sister's, give or take, she had her like over 10 years prior to having me and my brothers. So they had all this time to bond over like just her and my sister. They went through a lot together. My dad was always on the road with his band and performing and doing what he did. So it was one of those things where, look, I get it. It's not like I'm, sitting here, in a ball of like a jealousy or whatever. But when I say I'm going to bring you something, I'm going to come by and drop it off and we're going to visit, you know. She made it about somebody else and, well, maybe we could, you know, do all these other things. And and I didn't even say anything about it. It's just, I get it. But you'll understand why I mentioned the story soon. And it had to do with, like, I love my kids. I love my daughter, my wife. I call the house to tell my wife, and she doesn't answer the phone. And it's par for the course. You know, you get home and you say, well, I was talking to my mom. She was, you know, my wife says that she was talking to her mom, or she was talking to her friend. She was getting these things situated with her aunt or whomever. It's like, hey, I totally understand. Hi, baby girl, do you want to play? Well, now her friend just came back into town. They want to play. Yeah, I get it. I get it. And again, I understand. I'm not sitting here in this ball of jealousy. It's just that it's being put on a shelf of all these different occurrences, these different instances or examples of prioritization of things happening in these ways. So, you know, we were planning to have some takeout this dinner, right? Well, my wife sends me a message saying, I don't know why you have to have Chili's tonight, which is her code for saying she's decided what she wants for dinner, and that's what she wants. She wants Chili's. You know, like I sent her a message today where I said, I don't know, you know, yeah, that's fine, but I don't know why you have to force me to eat wings, right? It's a silly thing. It's a game that we do. But on this particular evening, she wanted Chili's. So she's like, it's going to be an hour wait. Like, this online order says we have to pick it up at 7:45. I'm like, it's fine. We do curbside. Like post-COVID, it's just how we do it. I sit in my car like a lazy person. And when the person walks all the way out to the car, even though my wife already tipped him online, I give him an extra $5 to go back inside and get, you know, extra ranch or whatever that you can't put on the online order. It's a whole routine. It's fine. So I show up at 7:45. I park in the spot, and because sometimes they come right out, you don't even have to alert them. So I'm sitting there for like 5 minutes, you know, watching my phone, and then I look up at the sign, and it says, you know, my dog's barking. But anyway, the sign used to have a number on it, you know, where you're supposed to text and say, I'm here, I'm in spot, whatever, come on out. But now the signs all just say to-go orders only. You know, they have these signs. So I text my wife and I say, what's going on? Like, do they no longer have curbside? So she says, oh yeah, look, it says right here that they'll let you know when the order's ready. And I say, well, okay, cool, but considering that I've been here and it's after 7:45, I should just go inside, right? So she says, that's fine. I'll let you know if they text before then. While all this is happening, I see a girl go inside. That's important later. And so like 5 minutes later after that, I just go inside. I walk inside the to-go area, and they have this rack on the right, and it has some bags on it that are for DoorDash orders and whatnot. I was like, wow, that's different. I hadn't been inside the to-go area in years, because we've been doing curbside forever. So I'm like, that's different. That's interesting. This young girl walks up. She's a blonde lady. She walks up. Hey, how can I help you? Pickup order. She's like, is it on the rack? And I'm like, no, these all say different names. I'm here for pickup for Julie. She says, okay, to let you know, one of our fryers is down. So we've suspended all to-go orders because we're very busy right now and we're going to take care of these people first. And I said, wait, what? I did an online order. It said to be here at 7:45. I said, wait a minute. Help me out. Because it sounds like you're saying that the people inside there are more important than online orders that come in to your restaurant. And she says, that's exactly what I'm saying. These people are here now. And I started laughing. I said, do you hear yourself? I'm here now. My money is the same as their money. What are you talking about? She's like, it's not my fault. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, I don't know what you mean. Like, I said, hold on a minute. Because if you do I look like I'm upset? Because I said, I'm going to call my wife, right? And she's the type of person, she didn't even want food tonight. She was hoping upon all things that y'all were going to mess up so that she could light y'all up. So, okay, cool. That's your position. And I called Julie and I said, you don't believe what this fool said right now. And I couldn't even finish the story. She's already saying, I'll call you back. I'm going to call management. I said, no, I'm here. So all this is transpiring over the duration of time. She already said, go stand at the bar. And because I said, what do you have me do? We ordered an hour ago. You said to be here at this time. You're telling me it's indefinitely not going to be ready because you're not going to make my order. Yeah, go stand at the bar. It'll be like 20 minutes. And so like this is after 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm already on the phone with Julie. And she comes up, slams the bag on the counter and says, have a sweet night. And then proceeds to do her spin and walk away. And I involuntarily just say, hey. Because, number one, the bag was all just halfway open. And I can see from where I'm standing, there's only one salad. There's supposed to be 2 salads. So I already know things are messed up. And, furthermore, I'm supposed to ask for extra ranch. And I'll be damned if she's going to walk away and not say anything to me. So she turns back around and kind of cocks her head like, did you want to say something? And I'm like, it's supposed to have 2 salads, and you didn't even ask me if everything was here, everything's correct. I need extra ranch. And like half her crew comes out like they're going to like have some TikTok moment where they're going to film me and like, and I'm like, you want something? Can I help you? Like, does it take 3 of you to find out that? And she's holding the receipt and she's like, he's right. It is supposed to have 2. And meanwhile, I'm looking at this bag. The salad that's in there is like all twick. It's like stuff's falling out the side of it. The salad dressing is like all in the middle of it, just all jacked. And meanwhile, they're giving the order to that little girl. And they're like, thank you so much for your patience and your whatever. She's been there for longer than I have been there, right? Not to mention that the food was, when I got to the house, if you've ever had to-go food that's been sitting there for like a while, condensation builds up inside the lid of the food. And I opened up and it was just water, just whoosh, of just condensation. And my wife's food was like chicken tenders with like tossed in sauce, right, with like fries. And her whole plate was tossed to where everything was indistinguishable. It was all just, everything was just tossed in sauce because they banged the order around, probably shook the stuff around, you know. When I tell you I'm good to not go back to Chili's for I don't know how long, I'm done with them. And that's not me talking, that's a real anecdotal story of how they really treated us at this particular one. And yeah, last I heard, she tried to call and speak to somebody, and she said it was like this young, like squeaky voiced man that was like, oh, sorry, like, but did not take ownership of his staff saying those things or any of it. And she tried calling to speak to a general manager, and she whatever. But the idea was, and what I found in what I figured out, like, did it for me, was that she was saying these people are more important than you, right? And it triggered that feeling, like that, of those experiences with my, talking to my mom or calling the house or asking to play with my kid. You know what I mean? And maybe that's just like oversimplifying the whole thing, maybe. I mean, yeah, granted, they were just trash. But I think I would have not been so like keen to flip like that and be upset. I would have laughed it off in a truer sense because of the audacity of this individual and the fact that they wanted to hide under the umbrella that they were just following policy, as if the corporate policy would be that blatant to say, we're going to take, I mean, and you know what? To her credit, she probably was coached by a manager that thought that she would have the common sense not to say that directly to a customer. Like, all right, guys, we got a fryer down. We're going to have to take care of these people in here. Let's prioritize and have them, taken care of first, and we'll get to the to-go orders when we can, as we can, because these people are right in front of us and they might give us a hard time, something like that. Or we could play off our to-go orders as, as taking a little extra time, right? One of those kind of scenarios, which is still BS and it's still stupid because no customer is more valuable than another. And if something is going wrong, like a fryer being down and orders taking longer than normal, if you spread out the wait time over everybody and be honest and forthright, like, hey, wait times are going to be a little longer today, guys, and I apologize, but we have one of our fryers is down, but I'm telling you, we're going to get it as fast as we can, and you're going to have fresh food all around. You know what I mean? Hey, man, you know what? I really can't. If it's going to take longer than normal, I'm just going to dip. Okay, that I understand, but I wanted to be upfront with you. You know what I mean? And that's all you can do is be honest. Now, bust out these orders, get them out there. They're going to be happy. They're going to be happy. And then you got people waiting an hour and a half over here for their orders, and their orders are cold. Half their orders are the grill orders are cold, and the fry orders are hot, but jacked. Apparently, they just did it to be a dick. I was telling my wife, she's always pulling this stuff, thinking that no, they're not going to spit in your food. Yeah, they're going to spit in your food. They're probably going to shake up your order and make it trash, or whatever repercussions that you probably don't even want to know about. I've seen all sorts of things. So anyway, it's been one thing after another and I've just been in a bad mood. And I thought maybe it's because I started this new medication, but I had a night of very vivid dreams. And maybe I'm a little, too over analytical about this, but I read a little bit too much into it, but let me tell you the dream. I had a dream. It was so real, but it was like a complete story. And it's not going to make sense because it was a dream, but I was in this, I was looking out. It seemed like I was inside a house, and I'm looking up, and somebody's with me, and they're looking at the moon. And they were like, if you stand at a certain light, come check it out. And I was like, what's going on? And I came over, and the more I would step towards them, it was like a filter was going over, and the moon turned red, and they were like, it's shining on a light on it. On it is what it was said. It was like a place. I understood it was like pointing where to go. And I solved all of these like clues, and I was searching out like a demon, like this evil thing. And by the end of it, I discovered what was the demon, and by recognizing it, it went away, or like I beat it, like because I solved the mystery of it. But right after it, I woke up, and I was like, whoa, that was crazy. I should have felt like vindicated or like positive. It's like 911 Elm Street Part 4 or something, where like I fought back and I won, but I just felt creeped out because of all of the things I had to do. And part of it was that the demon was like somebody I knew and cared about. And I uncovered them by listening to all these clues about whatever. It was the weirdest thing. I was thinking, well, see, here's what I was thinking though, is by the light that was shining on me or whatever, depending on what was shining, it was bringing out it turned red. So sort of symbolic, like it brought out this from it. I don't know. When I say it out loud, it's kind of hard to articulate what I was extrapolating from this dream, but it felt like my mind was telling me that that these things that are happening are bringing out the worst in me, if that makes any sense. I don't know. It might just sound like gibberish to you when you hear it. But like in that same night, I had another dream about I was at my aunt's house, who's long since passed away. and I was cutting carrots with one of those things, a peeler, and there were these giant. It was a giant bushel of carrots that were sitting on top of where the sink was, because I guess to wash them and then you do that, right? Or peel them and then wash them. I don't know what was happening. But she was laughing. She had this really distinct laugh. And because I was saying, she was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, I just wanted to help. I just wanted to." And she was laughing, and she took it from my hand of this carrots. And when she backed them away to rinse them off, they were just mutilated. These carrots were just, I mean, I butchered them. And she's like, you tried. It was just very vivid and weird. I went outside, and there was a little girl. She was playing bouncing a basketball like on a roof and filming it, and she fell through. And it was like part of the skit was to fall through and hit the ground and like get up and like keep bouncing the ball. And I was like, what are you doing, dude? Whatever. Just random stuff like that, but very vivid, very real, very, and I've tried to simulate exactly what happened that where maybe I drank too much caffeine, or maybe it was the medicines that I took. Anyway, but I thought I'd share that jacked up dream with y'all, or that series of dreams. It's great catching up with everybody. Thank y'all for hanging out, swinging by. Please message me at lostlikemike@gmail.com. Let me know how you're doing. I'll answer all those questions and talk about the things that you talk about. But as always, appreciate you coming by, and I will see you next week.